Hi, I'm Doug here at Global West, and what I'd like to talk to you today about is C5 and C6 Corvettes. Now, in one of our earlier videos, we showed you the performance bushing system that we now make for the C5 and 6s, which is from 1997 to 2013. In this particular video, we're going to talk about the upper control arms, and we're actually going to do an installation in the back. We happen to have a Z06 in the back, where we're going to install this particular kit. These are the uppers and lowers. So let's take a minute, let's go in the back, and we will show you how to install the upper bushing system, which acts kind of like a bearing, as you can see here, in a C5, C6 application. So let's go do it. Okay, we're back in the shop, and as you can see, I've got some Corvette upper control arms here, C5, C6, and I'm going to show you how to install our new bushings into these control arms. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the first things we're going to use is a bearing removing tool. We're going to drop this on here, put it between the rubber and the control arm, and you're going to tighten it down. All right, now that we got that there, we have a tool that we've made for doing this because we do quite a few of them. And what we're going to do is we're going to install this. So this goes over the top like this. And we're going to use the press, and we're going to press this out, and it's going to go into here. So let me show you how that gets done. Now, by doing it this way, there's no load that's going into that control arm. So we don't have to worry about damaging it at all. Okay, so before we take the other side apart, let me tell you something about these. If you look in the shaft here, you got one round hole and one oval. And on this particular shaft, both of them are oval. The round hole is the forward portion of the control arm. So in this particular case, this would be a driver's side. The other control arm, round hole, ovals, this would be a passenger side. Round hole always goes to the front. So let's take apart the other side. All right, now that we got the bushings pressed out, our bushings, our bearing system comes pre-assembled, as you see, like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the dust boots off. They just pop off. There's a nut here we're going to take off. And there's some set screws in here. And we're going to take those set screws out. We're going to use them later, but we're just going to get them out of the way to do press work. Now in our kit, shafts, just like the factory shafts, we got a shaft here that's got two ovals. And then we have a shaft that's got one oval and one round. The round hole goes to the front of the control arm, front of the car, okay? I've got the ovals ready to go in, so they're going to be on the back side. So since this is the driver's side, the oval bushings are going to go to the back. So let's go ahead and press this in. Okay, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to use a little green Loctite. And we're going to look inside here too to see if there's any rubber residue inside from when we press those bushings out. I'll use a little Scotch-Brite and just make sure everything is cleaned out of it. Before you press these bushings in, you notice there's a hole right here? That's for grease. We're going to put a Zerk fitting in the control arm. And what we want to do is, this is the top of the control arm, the taper goes up. And what we're going to do is we're going to punch a hole into the control arm right here, and we're going to center it up so it lines up with this grease fitting hole. So I'm going to use a felt tip. Okay, you can see the hole here. And with this pressed in, and this is going to come the shoulder is going to come all the way up to the arm, press tightly. I'm going to look down and do center line. of where that hole is going to be. And I'm going to do that on both sides. These bushings are fully lubable. No squeaks, no noises. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole. Now, you don't want to drill a hole into this radius at all. You want to be up in this area right here. So if this is the top of the arm, you're going to be at about a 45 to the top, which is going to put us right here. I'll go ahead and take a center punch. I'm going to go ahead and punch that real quick. Just get my location. I'm going to take a 210 drill bit. Drill my hole. Okay, so next we'll use a 1/4-28 tap. Going to use a little tapping fluid. And we're going to go ahead and tap the hole. All right. Make sure I get all the burrs out, if any. So, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to press our bushing in. Now remember, the ovals go to the back. We're going to press this in, and so that we're going to line this up so that the holes, this will intersect. We're going to use a little bit of green Loctite. Just going to use a little bit on here. Slight coating. Same thing here. Okay. We're going to line this up. So now we're going to go ahead and press this in. Let me get some press tools here. We'll go over to the press. Okay, we've got that pressed in. Holes line up. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Okay, things all assembled. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put our locking nuts on as well here. Take the set screws out. Now on these rings, these locking rings, there's a step right here before the threads. The step goes to the control arm. Okay. In the kit, we're going to give you a spanner wrench. You're going to use that spanner wrench and just tighten them down. Okay. Once we get them tight, you're going to have this nail. Now these center screws are pointed. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the nail through here, and we're just going to, now we had them tight, we're just going to put a little point in the control arm. So the set screw's got something to index on. What this does is this is additional insurance that it won't rotate. We're going to reinstall our set screws and lock them in. Now that we have the set screws tight, now we're going to go ahead and put our boots on. Now the boots have a groove that indexes in the shaft, and then it's like a little cog that goes inside here and indexes in the outer rings. It's a nice little setup. Keeps everything locked in position. So it's just a matter of rotating it around until it drops in position. The nice thing about this kit is any shop can do this. If you have the tools at home, you could even do it at home. Really doesn't take many special tools, a couple of press fixtures here and there, and it's, again, something that you could easily do at any shop. Okay, then we install our grease fittings. Now when we put these bushings together, obviously they're pre-assembled when you get them. There is grease already inside there, but once you get it all together, get it back on the car, we want you to hit it with grease again. Now we use a synthetic grease, it's Neo Z12. It works really well on this particular product. We use it in our del-a-lum bushings as well, which you'll use in the lower control arms as we show you how to do those. Now, the shafts are offset. You can see them here. And depending on whether you're going to set this, all your alignment's going to be done now from this control arm at the top. If you do the full package, the lower control arms will be locked out. You'll get rid of your eccentrics. So alignment now goes to the top in a shim type application. And in the kit, we give you shims as well. But one of the unique things is that this shaft is offset, so you can dial this any way you'd like. So if you're autocrossing, you're going to want to pull the control arm in to get more negative camber. And that can be done by rotating it this way. If you're going to be doing a normal street alignment, you would push it the other way. If you wanted to get more caster, or you're playing around with certain settings and you had enough negative camber, you could actually do one direction and one the other, which is give this a lot more caster. A lot of advantages of this type of a bushing setup for whether it's street or a racing environment. It really doesn't matter. It's set up to do whatever you'd like it to do, or for whatever you're setting your Corvette up to do. Okay. Now you got a pretty good idea how easy it is to install the upper control arm bushings bearing system in a C5, C6 Corvette. All you really need is some simple tools and a press. So let's take a minute and go to our next video, and we're going to show you how to install the lowers on the same vehicle.